So here we are in the Excel portion of the lab. If you've had issues with Google Sheets or you don't have a Google account or whatever, you can also just do this in Excel. So let's go through the process. Here are your data. I'm probably going to change these a little bit. So your numbers will look slightly different. You're also going to have a sheet that looks very similar where you're actually going to type in your values. Okay, so total stomata. How many total stomata do we have here? Well, we have 21, and you could easily just add that up. Here we've got 23. Here we have, 15 plus 4 is 19. But it becomes problematic if you made a mistake in data entry. So like, if you plug in that this is 21 and then you go back later and realize, oh, actually this was supposed to be a 5. Well, now this number is going to change. And the number we're going to do here later is going to change. And the number we're going to put in here later is going to change. So I don't recommend inputting everything by hand. It's an option, but I wouldn't do it. What we're going to do is we're going to make Excel do this addition for us. So how you do that is you go ahead and you just click on where you want to enter your data. And we're going to type in equals sum. Sum, as it says here, just adds two numbers in a range of cells. Let's zoom in. Yeah, thanks, Excel. I'm all good. Okay, so let's go up to zoom. We'll get a bit closer. Let's zoom to this. Here we go. And I should explain first that each data point in Excel or Google Sheets or whatever database you're working with has a specific location where it lives. And so the number 19 lives in cell F5. The data point 5 here, what cell is this? Well, this is cell G5. So we went over from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where the data point 5 lives. G5. It's kind of like when you're playing Battleship or whatever. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're going to make Excel do this very basic addition for us. So the way we do this is whenever you're starting to write a function in Excel, whenever you want Excel to do math for you, you hit an equal sign. The math that we want it to do is the sum function, equals SUM, adds all the numbers in a range of cells. So we want it to sum up, well, cell F5 and G5. And so in order to do this, you need to have an open parentheses. So if you press the shift down and then you press the 9 key, that will open the parentheses for us. And we want to sum F5 and then a comma G5. You can also use capital letters. Excel doesn't particularly care for capital letters. Some programs do, Excel does not. And it's going to highlight for you. So F5 is highlighted in blue, G5 is highlighted in red, which is wonderful. Now you can either close the parentheses or you can just hit enter and it'll close it for you. You notice it added the parentheses for us. Okay. And it got the answers right. 21. Good stuff. So let's go ahead and go down to field 2 here. We want to know how many are between what is 22 plus 1. And so you could enter equals the sum of F6, sum of open parentheses, F6, comma, G6, which is, something that you can do. You could also use a colon here, but it doesn't really matter. And that's great. 23, totally fine. I, however, do not want to keep on entering these formulas over and over and over and over again. So what I'm going to do is you need to click away from where we were just working. We don't want to accidentally be double clicked or, it's hard to do from here. So just click away from it. Then you click again where we just were on that cell where we were working. And you'll notice there's this green square in the bottom right-hand corner. It looks very similar in Google Sheets, but you're going to go ahead and click on this green square and actually, you're going to hover until your white cross turns into a black cross. You see that? You don't want the little arrows or anything. You want the white cross to turn into a black cross. And once it does that, you can click and drag down. And it's going to bring that formula down, and it's going to do it right. So before this was just F6 through G6. This one should be F7 through G7. This one should be F8 through G8 and so on. But if you just click, bring your white cross over, it can't be those arrows. It's got to be the white cross turning into a black cross. You just click and drag down and it gets them correct. 26 plus 4 is 30, 17 plus 2 is 19, 23 plus 3 is 26, and so on. Okay? Great. We can do something similar down here, and I guess we should. So again, we're going to type in equals the sum of F13 through G13, and if you want, then you can click away, click somewhere over here, and then come back and single click where we were just working, take the white cross, turn it into a black cross, click and drag down. If you keep going, it'll give you a 0, because it's trying to add this and this, right? And there's nothing there, so it's just a 0. There are other ways you can do this as well. You don't have to keep writing the formulas over and over. We can just select all of these. We'll go up to... Oh, they removed the copy button. Anyway, we're just going to go ahead and copy this, or you can press Control-C. And we're going to come down here and paste it. Just paste. And you'll notice it didn't just paste the numbers. It actually pasted the formulas, and it pasted them correctly, which is very cool. But, if you don't feel like doing all this, you can just add them by hand. That's okay, but Excel gives you some pretty powerful tools to make your life easier. Next, we got to figure out what our % open stomata is. You might remember from lab, the % open stomata is the number open divided by the total. So I'm going to go over here and type in equals F4, or F5 actually. Thank you, Excel. It showed me that F4 was wrong, F5. And then we signify divided by with a slash. So F5 divided by E5, 5. So open divided by total, which is great. It's 91 or so %. Let's see. So we're going to say 19 divided by 21. Yeah, that's the right answer. Very good. Now, if you want, you can keep writing that equation over and over again. I do not want to. So I'm going to go ahead and click away and then single click where we were just working. And we're going to take our white cross to the bottom right-hand corner until it turns into a black cross, and we're just going to drag it down. That looks fantastic. We got all these numbers. They are all correct. Good times. Let's see if we can get less decimal points. Yeah, I got it, Excel. Thanks. I don't know how to do that in Excel, actually. That's funny. So you go to... Never mind. Oh, here we go. So I just went to the home up here in these options, and then you'll see there's a decimal point, and it is pointing to the left. We want to go the other way. We just want to have 2 decimals is fine. You don't even have to do that. If you want to leave it long, it doesn't matter. I'm also going to just go ahead and copy this. So we'll just go up to copy. And then we're going to go down here and we're going to paste. And it got them right. Notice it didn't just paste the numbers, it pasted the formulas. And if it'll let me double click, those are the formulas that we want. Great. Let's learn a new function in Excel. I would like to take the average of all of these values. So how do I start writing a function in Excel? Well, I start with an equal sign. The function to get the average is just the word average, and you could even write it super weird if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's going to work even if you mess up the capitalization. I want to get the average of H5 colon H10. Or if you want, I have to get rid of that, equals the average, you could just click and drag it down. That'll get you the average. Let's figure out the average of our condition 2 open stomata equals the average of H13 through H18. Okay, so condition 1, average % open is 88. Condition 2, average % open is 11. Let's go over here really quick and make a little summary table for our statistics. All right. Start over. We're going to make a summary table. All right, we're going to make a summary table for our statistics. So we've got condition 1, we've got condition 2, we've got our average percent open, we've got our standard deviation. Do not be afraid. I'm going to show you how to make Excel calculate this for you. So we have our average percent open, condition 1. We've already calculated that for condition 1, right? This is our average percent open. You could type in 0.88, but I think it's probably more useful to hit equals and then click on the cell that you're looking at, which is I4. And then I'll give you the average percent open here. I'm going to hit equals. We're going to go grab our average percent open from down there. Now we're going to calculate the standard deviation. Let's talk about standard deviation. So let's say we have 2 data sets. We got data 1 and data 2. If one of these data sets is very, very, very close, like all of the data points are quite close to one another, really not very much. You know, these are all ones and twos. There's one 1.1, but they're all very, very close to one another. And let's say, for instance, we have a data set that has data that's all quite different. What do you think the standard deviation is going to be between these 2 data sets? Like, how different is it going to be? Or I guess I should say it's going to be quite large for data set 2 because, you know, our numbers are all over the place. They're super different. So we'll get average, we'll get standard dev here. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the average of data set 1. So I'm going to hit equals average, C3 through C, I don't know, 50, C38, C38, C. There's our average. It's 1.2, and we're going to get the average D3 to D38, D38, because I made them the same size. You guys don't actually have to do this. I'm just making a point here. Now we're going to get the standard deviation equals STDEV C3 through C38. It's small. The standard deviation of this data set is less than 1 because all of our numbers are quite similar. Now let's look at the standard deviation of our larger data set. Cooperate. This is D3, D4 actually, through D38. The standard deviation's huge, right? It's massive because all of our numbers are super far apart. So standard deviation just tells you how closely grouped your data are because we are doing some summary here. We're not graphing all of the points. So anyway, let's get our standard deviation of these numbers for condition 1. The way we do that is you type in equals STDEV. And you can type this in, or you can just grab them, H5 through H10. I'll type them here, H5 through H10. That's good. We're also going to get STDEV. This is H13 through H18. Cool. So our standard deviations are reasonably small, which is good. That's what we want to see. So I'm going to go ahead and just select all of these cells here. You don't really need to select this one, but do it anyway. It's easier. Select all 6 of these, and we're going to go up to Insert. And we're going to go over to Recommended Charts. It should be a column chart. You don't want a pie chart. You don't want a line chart. So make sure you click Clustered Column. We're going to go ahead and click OK. Great. So we have our average percent open. It's average percent open Stomata. There we go. We have our average percent open Stomata here, and so for condition 1, it's slightly lower. For condition 2, it's slightly higher. I'm going to go over here and hit the plus, and we're going to go down to this error bars button. And now Excel is going to guess. I don't know what it's guessing or why, but we don't want that. We don't want to guess. We want our standard deviation here. Let me move this. Let me make it a bit smaller, get it out of our way so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so if you lose this, if you click off of it or whatever, you just click this little plus. You single click on your chart and then you go to this little plus. And then we're going to scroll down to error bars and then click this arrow that's pointing off to the side. So once we found this, you want to go down to more options here. And we're going to go down and click custom. And we're going to specify the value. So our positive error value, we want these. For our negative error value, you can click this little plus and just select them. We want those. And we'll see if it did it right. It does not like that. Cooperate. Cancel. Hit the plus, go to the error bars, hit this little button, more value or more options. I gotta exit out because it's not wanting to cooperate. You get to see it happen a few times though. So again, single click, go to the plus, go to your error bars. We can uncheck that for now. Click that little right button, go down to more options, and we're gonna go to custom. Specify value. We want our standard deviation positive to look like these two. And we want our standard deviation negative to look like those two. And there you have it. We have got our average percent open for condition 1 and condition 2. Now we're going to go ahead and open up a Word doc. New document. And we're going to go back to this, and we're just going to copy this. And we're going to paste it into our Word doc. Underneath this, I want an explanation of what's happening here. So condition, or you explain the graph. So you would say in this graph, average percent open stomata for 2 conditions are shown, and then I'd like you to explain why. The reason that we have different numbers of open stomata, and you need to figure out a good wording for this, is condition 1, I had pruned those and brought them in that morning. I actually cut them off the tree that morning. In condition 2, what had happened was I had pruned them off a few days before, and so those leaves were drying up. The plant was trying to conserve water, and so I just need a brief explanation of why it is that condition 1 has so many open stomata and condition 2 has many fewer open stomata. I would also like you to do the same exact exercise with your data, whatever those look like. I'm going to send you an Excel spreadsheet. It'll have tabs down here, and one of these tabs will have basically just, it'll look like this. It'll look like this with just your places to put your data into it. You're going to have to write your own formulas so that you can get these data, but that's what it's going to look like. I know this stuff can be tricky, so if you have any problems, you can come and talk to me about it. But if you have questions, you can bring them to me. Okay, cool. That's the assignment.